With Valentine's Day right around the corner, we decided it would be a great time to kind of look at the females within Dokkan Battle and kind of get an idea of who their best form or representation is. Think about a unit like Kale, who's the best Kale in the game, etc., right? So, I am not alone today. I am joined by the man of many gotchas, Gale Riot, and a man with a beard, and his name is Tystra.
Hello everybody. Happy Valentine's Day if this is actually going up on Valentine's, or hopefully you guys had a good Valentine's Day. If it's after somehow, hopefully it is going before, like you said, Vilify. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what units we have to look at, of course, right? Because we have actually gotten an exponential increase in the amount of females in the game, of course, through the, Peppy Gals banners we've been getting regularly every year, and obviously Dragon Ball Heroes and stuff. So it's going to be very interesting to see what females reign supreme.
Yeah, I definitely would say, reign supreme.
Yeah.
I definitely would like to see a bunch of units kind of, as we go into 2023, like kind of see the Peppy Gals, category expand with newer, updated versions of said characters, and that's going to be kind of what we go over a little bit today too. But yeah, we've got an extensive roster as it is, so I'm pretty excited.
I think what we should open up with is that we have to give Dokkan credit where credit is due, that they don't take these ladies and use fan service to sell us on banners like a lot of gotchas do. It's kind of surprising with the amount of money they make. They're not like, let's just make more and do, certain type of fan service units, a lot to like swimsuit banners and other games and stuff like that. But Dokkan, they stick to their guns, and we just get most of the time, unless it's like heroes, we get like canon outfits and moments and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting because but yeah,
no, you're good.
Like you said, it would have been not so surprising if they decided to just chuck a swimsuit banner or something. I mean, games like when Naruto Blazing was around, they've done kimono outfits or like swimsuit outfits or something along those lines. But Dragon Ball and Dokkan and Legends, if you want to look at both gacha games, have never really gone down that route at all. So that's obviously something you have to give them credit for in a way, to be quite honest.
I think really, like, when it comes down to fan servicey, like, definitely Dokkan and Legends don't do that. I think the closest thing to fan service we ever get is with Cheelai and her animations, but other than that, it's not really too, crazy with the promiscuous side of these DB ladies, so...
Yes, well said, Tystra. But let's go ahead and get into our list here. So, opening it up, we are going to be looking at the best version of Kefla within the game, and that is the fused version of the tech Kale and Caulifla. So we're not going to go too much over the kit, but like her unit is okay in difficult content. Like, if you can get like a lot of stacks in with Kale and Caulifla, like they could be okay in like the Broly red zone, but it's tough to say, right? Like these two aren't going into Cell Max fusing and then just soloing it, but that's going to be the case with just about everybody on this list. But this Kefla art is good. Her super attack animations are super fun, and I'm a big fan of this unit. But it's just unfortunate they were kind of they came out in a weird period where it was like right after Worldwide, and then Annie was a couple months later, so they were in between like a huge power creep.
Yeah, I mean, that's the unfortunate part about this Kefla. I mean, she obviously had her uses in the start of Red Zone. I mean, I know Truth was the big advocate of that, of course, right? Mm-hmm. But like you said, I think she was just released at a very rough period, and unfortunately. And also on top of that, of course, we rarely get big Universe 6 buffs. I mean, the horrible part was that the Universe 6 banner unit she got was also useless, to be honest, right? If you look at Kaba, Minato's favorite unit, of course, still to this day. I mean, he was useless for this Kefla. So I think that was also another reason why we never got to see this Kefla really shine in difficult content to this day, to be quite honest.
100% agree. I think also it just kind of sucks because it's like, what we talked about is Universe 6 representation. There's not a lot of units in general for the Universe 6 team. It's the same thing for Universe 11, but I won't go too far into that. But yeah, definitely when it comes to this Kefla unit, the fact that she infinite stacks is dope, but even with me dabbling in the harder content, finally, me being turtle about it, definitely not enough to keep her afloat when it comes to Red Zone or even Cell Max.
Listen, when I think Valentine's Day, you mentioned Universe 11, I think Jiren.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on from Kefla and move on to another character that debuted within Dragon Ball Super, and that would be our girl in Cheelai. Now, Tystra mentioned her earlier with the fan service, so to speak. But she is in one of those weird things where she came out on a banner that just screamed, like, do not summon on this, like, absolutely don't. And hopefully, if you guys do have her, you got her summoning for somebody else in the banner, because she's just a banner unit at this point. But Cheelai is one of those interesting cases where she is just completely defensive based. There's nothing to do with attack in this kit almost at all, right? And then being a Rainbow Orb Changer is very nice. And then she also has some sealing. She can stun. It's a very good thing. And I think having a Cheelai with like an updated 2022 animation is super nice. And I'm a big fan of this unit.
Yeah, I think Cheelai, for me, I like the idea of getting a Cheelai. It's really, really nice that they're adding these female characters that we don't know about. But my problem comes down to something we're going to address later on in the video in regards to obviously them releasing these characters, but some certain Dragon Ball female characters who still haven't gotten a really good representation in the game are not getting one. But that being said, I still like this Cheelai. Like you said, really nice defensive character for sure. Only issue is, of course, she's not on that many teams, so it kind of ends up being a bit of a annoying part where, if you want to use her, you can only use her in like 3 teams.
We did go over one thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, listen, Queen. All I'm going to say. I love Cheelai as a character, and it's totally not because of her promiscuous side in the Broly movie. It's totally not that. But no, I'm also mad because I haven't pulled this unit yet. I'm so angry at Global. But yeah, no, I could agree with Gale on that aspect too. It was pretty crazy to see that we saw this Cheelai unit come out before we saw other units that have been mainstays in the Dragon Ball series for a long time. But I am definitely not complaining about this unit being in the game.
This Cheelai's links Flea and New Frieza Army, huh? Good links. Okay.
Very nice links.
So I guess I alluded to us talking about fan service earlier. I forgot about a certain somebody that's on this list, and that's Int Towa. This is the best representation that we have for Towa in the game right now, and I guess she fits into the heroes category that we kind of mentioned before we started recording. But I think she stands out enough as the kind of like the face of the Dragon Ball Heroes ladies. I guess maybe I'm wrong on that. You can correct me down below. I don't watch Heroes, so but she came out during 2020 with Vegito and company, and I'm a big fan of this unit's art, and I don't think she's really usable anymore. But who knows? Towa was like the main antagonist of Xenoverse 2. So we shall see.
Yeah, hopefully we get a new representation for her next year, because I do agree with you, and I think everybody else would as well, is that while obviously maybe she's not as present in Dragon Ball Heroes anymore, maybe, obviously we're starting to see more and more weirder and different characters, right? Different female characters as well. You could make an argument and say that Supreme Kai of Time, of course, is a more popular girl/female character in Dragon Ball Heroes. But, I mean, yeah, everybody wants more Towa at the end of the day. Towa is waifu material, as they would say on the streets, effectively, right?
Streets,
yeah, the streets will call her the waifu material. So definitely would be nice to see a new representation for her next year, or an EZA for this one. Either or would be really good.
Absolutely, 100%. Like, everybody loses their mind when Towa's mentioned about Dokkan, and it's not because of her kit. We already know how it is. So I don't have to say any more about Towa when it comes to that.
It's her link set, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's her link set.
All right. Towa, that just reminded me of the Supreme Kai of Time. I completely forgot to mention her, but she's also part of the fan service, her Transformer. We'll just leave it at that. I'm not going and pulling her up here. Let's go ahead and move on. Now, everyone... Maybe the most infamous Dokkan Fest release of all time. We have our girl, ally of love and friendship, Videl. Now, Videl asking Gohan that he likes short-haired girls is certainly a Dokkan Fest worthy moment, right? Like, this is like, you think about Majin Vegeta's speech to Babidi, this is up there. Like, in like the iconic moments in the series. But jokes aside, I mean, she came out and like everyone was like, "Whoa!" Like this is the tier that we're getting for 2021 Dokkan Fest. Like we just had the Bio Broly movie, Goten and Trunks that were super cracked, and then we had this Videl And it's like, she's doing what turn 1? She's dodging what? She's got, like, her worst part of her kit is her leader skill. Because, she is key 4 and 170 to Peppy Gals, but Defenders of Justice stinks. But, Videl, super cracked unit. Kind of crazy to think that she is, like, one of the few Dokkan Fests on this list, but here we are.
Yeah, I think she was the big start of this whole, weird, sort of Dokkan Fest releases, right? We obviously have started to see more and more of them with units like Yamcha, Ginyu, Pan, and stuff like that, right? But she was the big start of this whole, we're actually going to, like, some obscure, well, not really obscure, Videl is a known character, but, like, weird moments from the series, and this is what's getting Dokkan Fest, right? But I mean, on release, everybody's called her the best unit in the game and everything. She at one point was individually a really strong unit. Of course, it's just that at the time, Peppy Gals was a very non-existent team, to be fair, right? So there was also that factor. But yeah, I mean, it was a cool release. It started an interesting trend for Dokkan and future Dokkan festivals. So she gets at least some credit there, I suppose.
Absolutely. It was really funny because it was around that time, like you just said, where people were clamoring for something other than Goku, Vegeta, Dokkan Fest. And they finally did this and everybody lost their minds. It's sad to see that she's obviously not top 10 anymore because I love the Peppy Gals team, not because I'm a degenerate, but because of how broken the team can be in its own right. And when this Videl came out, I was super excited for it. But yeah, it was a very strange Dokkan Fest, but, I think strangeness in games is definitely warranted when it comes to, needing something to fill in the void. And I think this, at the time, was a perfect fill for the void.
Perfect fill for the void. I think that's how we can describe Videl. That's all she is. Just the perfect fill for the void. Let's move on to what is this? So let's see. This is the technically not a married woman yet, but this is the first married woman she's taken, guys. We got STR Chi Chi. She is interesting in her case where she has some crazy defensive support. So we're looking at, what is it? Key 3 and defense 120% to Peppy Gal. So 120% support is pretty crazy. And then the team she's on is just absolutely wild. We think about World Tournament, we think about Earthlings, those are two of the best teams in the game. And she has her usage, but Chi Chi, she's interesting, I guess. It's fun stuff. I don't even know where I'm going with this. You guys just take it away.
Yeah, I mean, this Chi Chi is nice. I mean, she was a unit we were all waiting to see get an easier because of her insane support, right? That 120% defense and stuff. But I still want I want a stronger Chi Chi, but also a more popular one in the form of, like, probably a Dokkan Fest or something like that. Because at the end of the day, if Videl can get one, Chi Chi, and of course we'll talk about it later, but Bulma and Android 18, all three of them deserve one because they're probably some of the most iconic female characters, right? So while this Chi Chi is nice, we definitely do need a new Chi Chi for sure, 100%. One that's probably a Dokkan Fest or something along those lines.
There's a perfect moment for, like, a Chi Chi that we could get if she was good. Like, why don't we just go from the filler where she confronts Marin? And Marin calls her old, and she's like, how would you like to be wearing black and blue for a while in the dub? And she goes, like, Kaioken or something. Like, that, I think that could be funny, right? Like,
it could be interesting. It could be funny as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it funny that we haven't explored that Chi Chi. Like, we got all DB Chi Chi, but none of the DBZ Chi Chi when it comes to units. Or, if I'm crazy, like, not that I've seen. So it'd be really cool to kind of see DBZ Chi Chi get a unit of some sort. And I think, honestly, like, that would be the perfect moment. Would be, like, to kind of, like, make... Even if it was just an April Fool's unit, I would go for it. Like, give her, like, Kaioken and that type of stuff. Just name it Kaioken Chi Chi something.
Yeah, and there's also a scene that's like a canon thing where she's training Goten. You kind of see her fighting, right? Like, imagine, like, that was Yeah, like, what if we had, like, a unit super attack Goten that had Chi Chi involved with it for some reason? I mean, that would be, like, a really weird unit. But, like, Goten going Super Saiyan and then Chi Chi starting crying, like, saying, oh, my son is this again now. And, like, she's never going to have a normal kid. Like,
maybe a standby skill or something. Maybe switch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's. I wasn't expecting silence there. Let's. Yeah. So Chi-Chi, yeah. She definitely needs some more representation, but this EZA is very good. I mean, it's tough to fill out all of these because at the end of the day, what makes Dragon Ball money? It's honestly like we've talked about earlier. It's like the exact opposite. The big muscular men are what make the Dokkan money, right? So.
Yeah.
Let's move on. We have the newest unit on this list, I want to say, and that is Physical Fasha. She just came out on Global in October. So this Fasha is interesting. I think I've called every unit interesting so far, but she has some guard. She can build up her defense, but the team that she is like most wanted on is the low class Warriors team, and that team just needs a whole lot of work to be where we need it. But it did get the foundation with Tech Bardock. He's good, but this Fasha just kind of fits in, right? Yeah, so she came out on that double rates banner. That's what I was thinking, the Bardock Dokkan Fest, but no, she came out during that double rates banner. Yeah.
No,
yeah, she came out alongside Cheelai.
Yeah, we unfortunately got Towa instead for Bardock's banner. But I mean, that being said, this Fasha is really good.
Come on.
No Shugesh, unfortunately. We can address Shugesh in the future, hopefully in the future. But no, this Fasha is nice and all. I really don't have much more to add on top of what you said. I think it's nice that we have a good Fasha now. But yeah, the Bardock team still needs a lot more though. So yeah, that's what I would say. Maybe Fasha grade 8 in the future. I don't know.
Oh yes, the grade 8 mechanic, everybody's favorite.
Everybody's favorite. Come on now.
Absolutely would love to see, like, honestly, no cap. Those grade apes get some sort of EZA soon.
No cap, huh?
No cap.
You're so young and relatable, Tystra.
Yeah, I gotta be young to keep up with all y'all. But no, this Fasha was fantastic. It sucks because I pulled her, but didn't pull Cheelai. But it also didn't suck at the same time because she's really good for what she is. Definitely the best representation of her character so far.
I think our good friend Minato 90% of this Fasha before he pulled Cheelai, but I could be wrong on that.
It's highly possible. I still haven't pulled her yet, so me and Minato be on that same vibe.
Okay. A character that Toriyama forgot about, but we sure will not. Our girl, Launch. Launch is very interesting, right? I did it again, but Launch is a very fun unit to use as Super Battle Road because there's potential for her to do like a quad super where she's greatly lowering attack and defense on the enemy. She is perfect for Super Battle Road and in that Peppy Gal stage specifically. I say Super Battle Road, I mean encompassing both that and Extreme Super Battle Road. So she, I am a huge fan of this unit. I wish that we would have gotten a super attack animation with her in the blue hair because I do prefer her in that state, but that's fine. It wouldn't really make sense because this is the fighter version of Launch with the gun and whatnot. But she, just her ability to stun or see, I think she can seal, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. I think she just lowers attack and defense. Okay. No, she does. There it is. Seals the attacked enemy super attack when there's another Peppy Gals. Yeah. I had a feeling she could seal. So sealing, attack lowering, defense lowering, all fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this Launch is a very fun unit for sure, right? And as the Peppy Gals team has expanded and exploded, you could say, I think she's still been a very good staple unit to have for sure, especially like you said, if we were to go into the Super Battle Road stage for Peppy Gals or something along those lines, she would be a very, very solid unit for sure. Obviously, like you said, Toriyama forgot about her. We haven't, of course, and neither has Dokkan. Would I like to see a new one? Probably in the future, but I think even if we do get an EZA for this unit, it'll still be really, really strong, especially because her base kit does so much already, right? So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what she can do in the future.
If she does anything, really. I mean...
If she does anything, yeah, I mean, we don't know Dokkan. Dokkan's very temperamental with their EZAs, to be honest. I mean, look at Super Vegeta, for example.
Honestly, for me, and this is probably going to get me some hate in the comments, so definitely shoot your hate there. I'm not a Launch fan. The Dokkan card is fantastic, but Launch as the character, I was like, hey, I'm with Toriyama. I would forget about her too, to be honest. But I understand why people like her.
We are now moving on from Launch and going to, I'd say, a lot of people's favorite. I know for a fact she is Mask Ningen's favorite Dragon Ball lady at this point, but that is Android 21. Android 21 debuted within Dragon Ball FighterZ, and little did we know, we had a a nice-looking android lady who would go crazy and turn into a Majin lady, because, yeah, that's how it works, right? Welcome to the video game realm. But Android 21 is a rare case where they changed her transformation condition. It used to be 30% HP, now it's 40% HP. So a little bit easier to get, but I think we've also seen in the case of the Incel EZA, that is not an easy task.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I will be honest and say Android 21 is overrated to me, to be honest, as a female character. But, I mean, do we need a new one? Yeah, I absolutely think we do need a new one. I mean, she is still now a very popular character, especially now that she is officially canon, technically, through Superhero, right? It would be kind of interesting to see a new iteration for her. So, yeah, I'm all for a new one.
I'm a big fan of her, like, before she goes Majin. Like, I like that style a lot better.
Listen, that tail, a lot of capability. We'll leave it at that.
God.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, don't get me wrong. The degenerate in me is just like, yeah, but at the same time, like, there's just something about the whole, like, lab scientist look with Android 21 right there. I'm just like, yes.
Listen.
But no.
This is, I think, one of the first units I've seen that they EZA'd on the same date, November 25th on 2021. It was the same day. And that kind of special. I think
that is special.
No, that's the future.
In 2021, by the way.
Yeah, she's coming up on being, let's see, almost a year and a half at this point in terms of Dokkan. So, we don't really need to talk too much about, we didn't talk about her kit at all, really, but I said maybe her transformation condition, right? Her super attack effect, she recovers 12% HP. That's pretty cool. And then she's got 21 all over her kit, right? Attack and defense plus 21 performing a super attack. Additional attack and defense 21% when HP is 80% or above. And then attack enemies attack and defense minus 21% for 2 turns. That's decent. Her links, she's got big bad bosses. Most Brolys don't, but Android 21, she's a big bad boss. So, let's stay into our Android realm here and move on to one of the best, for sure. You know, pound for pound might be number 1, Android 18. Now, before we get into this Android 18, she needs a better standalone. This is Android freaking 18 for crying out loud. And we're looking specifically at the STR Bio Broly movie one, if we're missing one down below. We looked at the Tech Peppy Gals EZA that came out where she's sitting on the little carousel ride. But there's just not a lot of options for Android 18 standalone. Obviously, she's part of that Tech 17 and 18. But 17 is not who we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about Android 18.
Unless you're into that. But Android 18 herself, we definitely do need a standalone. I mean, I also do believe we do need a standalone 17. We technically already do with like MVP 17 and stuff, right? But we still need a new one, of course, for 17 as well. But yeah, getting the androids and their standalones would be amazing for sure. Because yeah, like I said earlier on with Chi-Chi, Android 18 is one of those very popular female Dragon Ball characters, and the fact that we still don't have a Dokkan Fest for her, whereas we do for like a Videl, is kind of weird. In all honesty, it's a little bit weird.
Bizarre.
For me, I look at it as like the big 3 units did not get a Dokkan Fest, right? We talked about Chi-Chi, another one we're going to be talking about here in just a moment, but 18 is part of that big 3. She's been such an integral part of Dragon Ball Z in general ever since, you know, her introduction in the Cell Saga. And it just doesn't make any sense to me why they haven't made a better standalone unit of her. She's quite popular when it comes to, like, you know, the whole fandom. So I want to see something better for her, to be honest.
You know what all 3 of those, the big 3, have in common? They're all mamas.
No Dokkan Fest.
Oh.
All
mamas, baby.
I mean,
We're both right.
You're not wrong. You're both not wrong, but yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So Tystra just alluded to it, but I think the most like egregious thing here to me, like they're watching me do this, but we're going to the Back to the Battlefield Diva link. But the most important like female in the series, and overall one of the most important characters in terms of like her relevance to the plot. She is kind of like the catalyst for OG Dragon Ball, right? Where she's the one who meets Goku and goes on these adventures. And Z, she's got the time machine and the scientific abilities to do all of these different things. And Bulma does not have good representation of like, you know, the more adult form of Bulma, right? Like we do have the, you know, the younger version from Z or from Dragon Ball in the physical EZA. So I guess she's like the best one that we have. And then like Vegeta and Bulma, but haha. It's just Bulma does not have nearly enough of representation in this game, considering how important she is. Like, to me, it's the most, like, it's the dumbest thing ever that, you know, you like short-haired girls, Videl is a Dokkan Fest, and like a future Bulma with like the ability with a time machine, even if she has like a unit super attack with Trunks, she has Trunks being a part of the kit or a part of the character. She doesn't have a Dokkan Fest. It's just, to me, it's just like the most like bizarre thing ever that, you know, the female of Dragon Ball, I'd say, it has like nothing.
Yeah, it's so weird. And I mean, it's been such a long time coming, but it's never come. That's the sort of thing that this Bulma has going for her when it comes to Dokkan Battle. I mean, the thing is, right, if you look at all the free-to-play units that also have like their own orbs as well, right, they've all gotten EZAs except that Tech Youth Bulma. I mean, it's really weird that they've not touched Bulma at all outside of that one physical EZA that we just got a couple of months ago, I think it was, right? So it's so weird because she's obviously, like you said, one of the most popular characters and one of the most popular, one of the most important characters to Dragon Ball. So yeah, it's a very, very weird thing that they're doing, and I hope maybe in the next year we could see one. They've got plenty of opportunities in the coming years, so hopefully they do one this year.
Anniversary Bulma.
It's pretty crazy, like talking about it, how most of the Bulma units have been free to play, whether it's World Tournament free to plays or from the story mode. I think, like, yeah, there hasn't really been much other than that, and I think it's egregious. Like, again, as we just talked about, Bulma is such an integral part of the storyline. You know, the deep friendship that she had with Goku growing up, and then, you know, becoming a part of the power couple of Bulma and Vegeta. You know, and it's baffling that we haven't gotten a Dokkan Fest, at the very least, for Bulma. Like, let alone even just a side unit, really. So, it's a big miss on Dokkan's part. I'll tell you that right now.
A big miss. That's one way to kind of close this out. But before we let you guys go, let's just quickly go over a couple honorable mentions. This wasn't like a top 10 list or anything like that, but I don't think they really need a specific segment covering them. We got units like Robelu, we got units, we got like Poutine, we mentioned Supreme Kai of Time, we have characters like Zangya, Koei, Vados, Margarita, a lot of all the like the female angels and stuff like that. Obviously, there's only like 2 or 3 in the game, but it is what it is. So let us know down below who your favorite female in Dokkan is. You know, not too many to choose from, but at least they're in the game to begin with. So don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy today's video, and subscribe to the 5-9 Mobile channel so you don't miss out on any future content like this. We got lists, we got Dokkan Battle, we got Legends, we got all of your Dragon Ball mobile game needs. But it's been a pleasure hosting for you guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.